I cannot believe I'm making this video. I know I say that a lot about a lot of things. I make a lot of faces and a lot of thumbnails that imply I can't believe something. I cannot believe I'm making this video. Wiccan was insane for me, and I cannot even begin to figure out why. But I had a 66% win rate over like 40 games in Top Infinite. I gained like 125 SP with 2 different Wiccan decks, neither of which I expected to be good, both of which drastically overperformed, and one of which in particular feels like actually kind of nuts. So, with that said, let's jump into it. Wiccan is a 4/7 with an on-reveal ability that says if you have spent all your energy on the previous turns to this, get +2 energy. Now, I did my normal KM best thing with this card. You know what I do when a new card comes out. I don't explore a Quicksilver and Domino. I don't play bad cards to make the new card good. What I do is I slap the new card in a deck that is already good and then see if that actually goes anywhere. And you know, that has mixed results. It means that I can miss out on new innovations sometimes, but it also means that some of the time I'm the person who figures out that something like Ajax is actually pretty strong. Wiccan is a card that I did this with, not really expecting a lot of hope, right? I wasn't expecting this to really work. I was like, all right, let's just pump. Let's do my due diligence. I'm a content creator. I got to get the new card and I got to play it. About that. This was the more successful of the two lists, and I think looking at it, you can understand why. One thing that I really want to highlight here, though, is just how completely bonkers it is to play something like Maria Hill 2-drop into Loki Wiccan. At that point, you are basically an RSM deck, except you get to run good cards that go with your game plan instead of a bunch of random cards in the early game. You are leveraging so much discount, so much energy cheat, and so many unfair things that it's hard for me to fathom just how ridiculous that curve is. I am a fairly early snap averse person. I was snapping Loki into Wiccan. That is crazy to me. The other thing I wanted to point out is that this deck might not even need Wiccan. That's the thing that has me really worried about making a video like this, where I talk so much about how good this card is, how good this deck was for me. Sample size was pretty low, honestly. Like, I had like 18 games of this deck. I had like 18 games of the other deck. It wasn't the largest sample size in the world. I was just like, I kept winning, and so now I'm making a video on it. But it was my best climb of the season, up 125 SP in a fairly short amount of time. And I think a lot of that was just like, this deck might already be good. I know I just did a video on Loki. What I'm trying to figure out right now is my sample size enough for me to recommend this deck? And also, is it distinguishable enough from just being a Loki deck? Like, is this just actually just a good deck if you don't have Wiccan? I think the interesting thing about this list, however, is I felt like I was triggering Wiccan very easily almost all of the time. The two best cards, in my opinion, to play alongside Wiccan in a real-world scenario are Kitty Pryde and Hawkeye Kate Bishop. Special honorable mention, Maria Hill, quite good as well. But Kitty Pryde and Hawkeye are cards that will almost guarantee that you are going to be able to have an active Wiccan. Now, I know people are going to be excited about Quicksilver and Domino. I don't think that's the right thing to be excited about with this card. I think what you want to do is do it like this, where it is a free roll card in a good stuff deck that doesn't even necessarily need it, but incentivizes the best draws. It juices them up by such an incredible amount. I cannot stress just how strong playing Loki into active Wiccan is. That is a 3/5 into a 4/7 that cheat an innumerable amount of energy. Good stats, great effects, and the cost you're paying is that you have to be a Kitty Pryde Hawkeye deck. Oh no, that's so terrible for you. There are definitely none of those in the metagame right now. I really don't know what else to say other than that. Like, I am shocked at how good this was. I am absolutely flabbergasted, and I'm afraid. Because what if I was just getting really lucky, and I make this video, and people buy Wiccan because of this video, and it ends up kind of sucking? I am afraid of that. I really am. So I do want to make sure that if you've made it this far in the video, hopefully you haven't bought Wiccan in the last 5 minutes. I want you to wait and see. But I am obligated, when I have a day as good as I did, to make a video about the deck that dragged me there. On to the card-by-card breakdown. Kitty Pryde, as I said already, is probably my favorite card to play alongside a Wiccan deck that isn't named Kate Bishop. Now, the reason for that, I think, should be pretty obvious. There are not very many cards that are better at taking up energy while giving you value and, crucially, not being Quicksilver and Domino than Kitty Pryde. I don't know what else to say other than that. Everyone knows how good she is. She also goes well with Wiccan, and I think that's what really strikes me about this shell is, does it need Wiccan? I don't know. Is it optimized for Wiccan? Somehow, yes. Somehow, yes. Like, not only are you very often able to play a bunch of stuff in the early game with this many 1-drops and this many 2-drops and this many cards that create other cards, you are very often just, Wiccan's just on in the course of doing what this deck already wants to do. And that's the crazy bit. Maria Hill is pretty damn good in a deck like this. Like, A, there's synergy with the Collector. B, it's a 1-drop you play that gives you a 2-drop, which then means if you have a 3-drop, you are suddenly able to have Wiccan online basically for free. This is the stuff we're talking about. There are some sequencing things that you're going to feel a little bit bad about, right? Like, oh, I have a Collector in hand, but I don't want to play Maria Hill. I've been opting to just play Maria Hill. Like, okay, 1 point, whatever. Wiccan being on, even if it's not in hand, is going to be worth that. And playing to have him on is probably also going to be worth that. The other thing you're going to see with Maria Hill is you aren't going to always want to play that 2 next up immediately. I tend to prioritize, even if I have Maria Hill, getting Kate Bishop out there to make sure that then I can play, the Maria Hill 2-drop and a Kate Bishop arrow on turn 3. Again, all my energy is being used. You have to sort of plan ahead for that. Maria Hill definitely helps with filling up the curve. Because you're already doing this like collector card generation thing to sort of make Wiccan work, Quinjet is just solid. In addition, it is of course a 1-drop, and it is important in a deck like this when you are trying to play Wiccan to run as many 1-drops as you reasonably can. I want to say we have 4 1-drops in here, which gives us a pretty damn solid chance at having a 1-on-1. If we're gonna miss any of our curves in this deck, it is having a 1-on-1. So I do default to keeping Quinjet in here instead of just running with 3 1-drops and cutting Quinjet. It's not like it's been the greatest card on Earth, but hey, extra discounts on Loki cards is fine. Extra discounts on Maria Hill, on Snowguard, on Agent Coulson, all that is fine too. You're not going to complain about that, and frankly, when you can get this out there, it's a pretty good card to have out there. 1s are the cards that sort of massage your curve such that Wiccan is online as much as possible, especially when you have something like Kitty Pryde. Part of what makes Kitty Pryde so good is you can go Kitty Pryde on 1, Kitty Pryde and a 1-drop on 2, Kitty Pryde and a 2-drop on 3, and that can make Wiccan online on its own. And that's part of why having 1-drops is good. Obviously, Kitty Pryde, because you can play her multiple times, is the best at this, but having 1-drops makes that more likely to happen. Snowguard is a little bit worse than Maria Hill at, doing the thing you need to do, but like Snowguard on 1 into 2-drop is actually a guaranteed activated Wiccan. So you have Snowguard on 1 giving you a 3-drop, and then you play your 2-drop, and then you play your 3-drop from Snowguard, or maybe you've drawn something better, who knows? And then you have a Wiccan that is just straight up online. And that's just a really, really, really strong thing to do. Of course, you also have this Collector sub-package in here. Snowguard will puff the Collector by 2 power, and that's pretty much what she's doing in this deck the entire time. You've probably seen Loki decks before. Even though Snowguard Loki is not what it was, you still kind of end up wanting to look very similar, which is kind of striking to me. The Collector is just a stat stick. One of the things I found playing the other version of the deck that I was trying here with just like Wiccan in it was a like Kitty Pryde Thena deck. And one of the things I found was Thena was just not really a card. Thena wasn't really gaining any stats, wasn't really doing anything. Thena kind of sucked. And the Collector, at the very minimum, in a deck like this, is going to be like 5 or 7. It's a smaller gain than Thena. But the thing is, when you play Loki on 3, that's not going to trigger your Thena. When you play Wiccan on 4, that's not going to trigger your Thena. And then your nut draw isn't working with Thena. And also, you're probably playing like 4 cards on turn 5 and then like 3 more on turn 6. And then that's also not triggering your Thena. And so you end up in a situation where, Thena probably has a higher ceiling, but the floor on the Collector is so high, and he works, most importantly, with what you want to be doing anyway. Angela, again, you might say, oh, Thena's better. Thena has a higher ceiling. She does. And we're not here to be a higher ceiling deck. Our ceiling is build your own Aurashim with Loki and Wiccan. We don't need to have Fina in here going as high as possible as well. Our ceiling is already through the frickin' roof. So Angela, as the higher floor option, is the one that takes precedence here. Obviously great with Kitty Pryde, great to curve out, just generally a very strong card. Going to be a 2/6, 2/7, 2/8. You're very happy with a 2/6, 2/7, 2/8 because you are playing that 2/6, 2/7, 2/8 backed up by an incredibly large amount of energy cheat. I strongly suspect that Kate Bishop is the best card to pair with Wiccan. I don't know if they did this on purpose, but I strongly suspect this to be true. Kate Bishop and Wiccan teaming up like it's the Young Avengers, and boy, this is a very potent pair. Having Kate Bishop almost guarantees, as long as you have a 1-drop, that you will be able, in a deck like this, to have a Wiccan that is online. It is almost impossible to draw badly enough that if you have Kate Bishop and a 1-drop, that you will be unable to have an active Wiccan. It is so close to impossible. She is that good. The way in which she fills your curve up is incredibly valuable in a deck like this. All of her arrows are very strong. This deck, as a Kitty Pryde deck, is even kind of better at using the Hawkeye arrow that so many other decks just hate to see all of the time. I honestly cannot give high enough reviews to Kate Bishop as a card in general, but specifically in this deck, it is maybe the best card. Like, there is like Loki, and then it's Kitty and Kate. That's really what we're talking about here. Agent Coulson is a great way to use your extra energy when Loki is not managing to make it happen. Of course, just a very solid card to curve out on 3. Of course, it works with Quinjet. Of course, it works with Collector. A lot of what this deck is about is just giving yourself options. One thing you will notice, though, is that there are 3 cards in here that put 2 cards in your hand, and Kitty Pryde bouncing back. You actually do have some problems with hand size in this deck. It is kind of crazy. You genuinely do have some hand size issues. I wouldn't be shocked if you could work this around and like maybe run like a Devil Dinosaur or something. I don't really know. But there are actual hand size issues you run into here. And that means that you sometimes have board space issues as well. When you're nutting off, it does require some like, okay, my opponent played Kate Bishop. I need to figure out where they're going to play the acid arrow, stuff like that. But basically, Agent Coulson is here because he's a 3/4 that pumps the Collector and sometimes wins the game for you totally randomly. And the rest of the time, if you have a Quinjet, he's just letting you play stuff above curve. Stop me if you've heard this before. I did call this deck Build Your Own Aurashen. Okay, so Loki's like actually just kind of a messed up card. And I don't know if it's too early or not early enough to like talk about this, but I thought that this was a nerf. And now I am starting to think that no, this card is actually actively better than before. Not just in Aurashem, in everywhere. This is a 3/5 that draws a card. Baseline. It also discounts that card. Ridiculous. But like, think about Crystal, right? And then think about this. And then think about Crystal again. And then think about this again. Like, these are not the same. And when your opponent's deck is a deck of Marvel Snap cards, it's just kind of unfair to play a 3/5 that does this. Card's ridiculous. I really don't know anything else to say about it. Also, there's a little glitch right now where when you play Loki, if you have the Collector, the first Loki draw will buff the Collector for reasons unknown. It's not particularly important, but it is a thing. When you play a Loki deck, I think one of the most important things, and this kind of gets lost a little bit, is just running a bunch of tech or whatever it is you want in your hand to juice cubes after. Because one thing your opponent knows for sure is the contents of their deck. And so creating a hand that you're happy to Loki your deck away is actually pretty important. So that's why we have Shang-Chi in here. That's why we have Enchantress in here. It's just your opponent's not going to reasonably be expecting them. You're going to be able to beat them up because they're not reasonably expecting them. And there you go. Enchantress might be a bridge too far. I can understand why you'd look at this and be like, what are you doing? Who's playing stuff that gets Enchantress right now? This is sort of just like, I would like to have it in there. Zoo plays stuff that gets Enchantress. The Patriot decks play stuff that gets Enchantress. You get rid of a Patriot, things like that, obviously. It's not the greatest play in the world, but you can make it. And of course, you have like your random Wong decks, which Enchantress is kind of your only out to because they combo off harder than you. And I guess Living Tribunal, Mr. Negative, stuff like that if you end up running into it. She wasn't amazing, but there were situations where she was my only out, and I was not upset to have her in the deck as a whole. I would call her the 12th card, though. I have not felt such a sensation of power as playing Loki into Wiccan in months. I really can't stress this enough. It feels very unfair when you do it. And this deck, being built the way it is as a Loki deck, also requires pretty minimal adjustments to make it a good Wiccan deck. And what I mean by that is we're already playing Kitty Pryde. We're already playing Hawkeye. We can put Maria Hill in here and not be like super upset with it. And so we get to run all of these good cards, and also they just happen to mean that Wiccan is on, like, I don't know, probably like 75 to 80% of the time. That's just good enough. It turns out when you do this and you play a 3-5 into a 4-7, both of which cheat like a bunch of energy, yeah, it's just really damn good. You are actually competing on the level of an RSM deck without making the deck building sacrifices that they have to make. It's genuinely extremely strong. All right, so let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is, should you spend caches for Wiccan, and why is every other content creator calling this card really bad? I genuinely don't know. I am personally so freaked out by my results with this card that I kind of don't believe them. Like, I'm making this video because I have to. I'm like afraid that I'm going to lead people astray. So I want to remind people very explicitly, please do not buy cards based on day one recommendations from content creators. You have an entire week with which to work. Please, 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 from the bottom of my heart, I am begging you to please wait and see if this stuff is sustainable. I've been right before. Ajax is an example. Annihilus is an example. I've also been wrong before, although I have forgotten about every time that I'm wrong, because that's what it means to be a content creator. Your memory is very short. But I'm sure that my community will be able to remind me in the comments. For the record, the other deck that I played with Wiccan was much worse at enabling Wiccan, and he was much more along for the ride, which is why I didn't cover it. But it was a Darkhawk deck, which I will have on the screen right now. There you go. It was pretty mid. Like, it was not really doing much. There were like some tempo mystiques that really sucked. He was mostly just along for the ride. I did not feel the same level of good about that deck as I do about this one. Anyway, let's jump into the gameplay. I've been Cam Best, and you have been phenomenal. Okay, this is kind of interesting. Okay, hold on, chat. We have turn 3 Loki, turn 4 Wiccan. Dude, we're about to out Arishem the Arishem deck. Oh, God. They're snapping me, I get it. But here's the thing. I'm about to do the same thing to you. I'll stick in it because I'm stupid and I want to find out if this works. Sure, yeah. No, I respect what you're doing here. Don't you dare. Oh, that's very nice. That claw is so nice. What the fuck? Annoying that they got my Wiccan. Oh, wait, no, that came off the Loki. It's fine. Oh, my God. Oh, my God, Chad. Yeah, they got the energy, yeah. They have 7. I'm about to have 7 too. Yeah, let's go. I read that acid arrow. Leave. They never expect this, right? They're like, I'll Shang-Chi him and win. Or some shit. You died to Eliath? No? You know, that's actually a really good point. Maybe. Oh my god. Oh my god! The claw! The claw! The very same. Also, yes, we were super dead to Eliath. I think we might have been able to win a tiebreaker. I don't actually know. But. Okay, we have Wiccan. We need a 2. Maybe a couple 2s. Maybe a Hawkeye. All right. We need a 1 or a 2 here. There are only 2 draws that do not involve building our own Aurishim here. That is not one of them. Let's go. We have built our own Aurishim, chat. We have built our own Aurishim. It's over. It's fucking over, dude. We built our own Aurishim. This is actually Aurishim at home, dude. Might still die, not gonna lie. Oh, God. Let's see if we can do it. Let's find out. Let's fucking go. Build your own Aurashem. Build your own Aurashem, chat. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's over. Is Wiccan broken? Okay. Okay. Perfect. We're getting to Wiccan this game. Love it. Fuck. Okay, well, at least theirs is off. My Wiccan is on. Wiccki. Let's go, dude. It's pop-off time, dude. It's pop-off time, dude. We can't snap or they'll leave, and we need to play this one out because this rocks. They got... Neither of those are my cards. Interesting. Dude, look at this amount of energy cheat. Oh, wait, they played 2 cards? They're fucking dead. Look at these cards, bro. Dude, we're wicking. We're fucking wicking over here, dude. We're absolutely fucking wicking. It's crazy. Oh my god, they stayed. Hello. Hello. Goodbye. Wiccki. You fool. Juggernaut? You fool. Oh my god. There he is. All right, we need a 2. We did it. This also works, right? We go 1 into 1/2 into Loki into Wiccan. Holy shit, dude. Wait, we actually are just playing Loki Wiccan right now. What the fuck? Surely we snap? I don't even know. I'll stay there, Snap. Also, Random Sage, I guess. Sure. Yeah, they're also Wiccaning, right? Okay. Huh? Jesus. I actually think it goes over there. Sure, yeah. We run Enchantress. Hold on now. Oh, interesting. They could have my Shang-Chi. Much better for me, dude. Holy shit, Nocturne, you absolute fucking queen. Oh my god. Nocturne, you monstrosity. Nocturne, you absolute monster of a card. For the record, it is a tie. It is a tie if that is just a normal location. Also, bear mid. Ah, yeah, I should have swapped these. You're right. All right, we got Quinjet, Hawkeye, Coulson. Okay, we got Quinjet, Hawkeye, Loki. Surely we won't run into 2 Agatha gamers in a row, right? My god. Awesome. Hell yes. Yo, that cannonball is kind of insane, bro. Whoa. Dude, claw. I don't have the energy for it. Oh, wow. I'm worried. Is there a better play here? Where we go like... Yeah, this one is just a slightly better play, right? It just has to be. Moisture Wiccan shirt pun. I unbanned him. Oh shit, it's the thing. Okay, I mean, we kind of have to, right? I don't think we legitimately have a choice. Nice. What are the fours in a deck like this? Okay. Good call, me. Yup. Without it, not so much. Okay, 1, 2, potentially Wiccan. We have Wiccan. I think my cards matter more than Castle Blackstone. Like, they get extra energy, that's fine. But I do too. Looking zoo-ish. Enchantress notable here. Whole game. Okay. Also, did anyone else see that the collector triggered there?